And we're back here. Main events. I'm Stephen McCollum. Dale's, they texted him this morning and moved his tea time up. All the men's club guys are coming back into town. Tea times are getting later again. Well, apparently not this week. So he got an unexpected surprise there. So I said, get out of here. I got you. I'm better at this than you are, Dale. You get out of here. I got you good enough. But, of course, that means on Wednesday, excited to have him, Scottsdale Christian Academy head coach Mike Sheahan. And this is the test, if you didn't know. Mike, good morning. Are you messing with me?
I'm not. I
promise. Oh, there you are.
Okay,
there you are.
Okay.
We're in our new studios here, and Dale had to take off. He said quit winning and blowing everybody out. He doesn't want to talk to people that blow everybody out all the time.
That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
yeah, so he took off. But, you're our first Zoom test, I guess we should say, here at the new studio. So working out good. So that's excellent. Look at that.
It looks good. You got a nice little background there. It's slimming.
Yeah, it actually overlooks the downtown cityscape here. I use that for the business show. So, yeah. So
that's awesome.
We're in a new area. Cool. We're basically downtown Phoenix now again and overlook everything. And, our this is our new studio, temporary setup here at the new studio while we're waiting for stuff to come in. Yeah, when you stop big time and us, you'll have to come down and see the place sometime.
I always have to be at the school at 11 or 10 right now after this.
I know.
So I promise I'm not big time.
I'm joking. I know. I like to give you a hard time. Yeah. So, first of all, big win last week. We'll get into that here in just a minute. But overall, man, you're just over halfway through the season. I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about your team and overall what you think about them here after the this first part of the season is over.
Honestly, pretty proud of them, right? So it's like it's hard. I talked to the boys the other day, and we thought we were going to be challenged a little bit more than we were. But I feel like up until this point, I'm extremely proud of them. And I think we've talked about it in weeks past. It's very hard to coach a team like this. There's a lot of talent on this team. There's a lot of kids that want to be challenged. They want to be playing tough schools. We did do that as far as scheduling. It's just not played out that way. But I think the way that they carried themselves and the way they've done is pretty awesome. Sean, our quarterback, got an offer last night from I think it's Lakeland. Was it Lakeland?
I believe so. I saw it. I saw him post it. Yeah, he's got a couple of them now, right?
Yeah, that's his third. Joey Casasilla has offers. Mm-hmm. Isaiah Steffen has offers. Martine's close on one. Everett's close on one.
Lakeland University is who it was last night.
Lakeland, yeah. Cade McKee, one of our offensive linemen, looks like he's about to get one. So I think we're, if at the end of the day, I'm super proud of these kids because, they work hard for each other, but they do want to go to college and maybe give themselves that opportunity to play. And now at SCA, I think we put ourselves on the map a little bit, and there's a lot of places looking at us, and there's a lot of people recruiting our kids. So I'm really proud of them up until this point because it's hard because they've only played half games, right? So I feel like a lot of our teams played full games, but a lot of our main players, starters, have only played half games, and they've reacted to it well. Sometimes that's tough because you're not being challenged, but we're in challenge season now. Obviously, I have Cortez coming up, which is we'll see how that goes. But we have PC after that, and I secretly love it because we're now the underdogs again, and they're above us in the PowerPoints and some rankings. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, the PowerPoint thing just amazes me, and how they calculate. Nobody knows how they calculate and where it's at. And just when these college coaches, I'm assuming they talk to you when they look at the players to see what kind of players they are, practice, etc. Things like that I don't want to say it hurts the players as they're being recruited, but the lack of competition that you faced this year, or at least it's resulted of facing, I should say. I try not to be disrespectful, but
No.
Do the college coaches look at it and go, yeah, he looks great, but
yeah, they do, right? So they want to see it against a little bit better competition, and obviously that comes more in the playoffs. I think the super highly touted kids are always recruited early because it doesn't matter like who they're playing the competition. They're recruited early. They'll get offers as sophomores, juniors. But the kids are like legit, like football players that you can't really necessarily see outside of pads. They're not necessarily like weight room warriors. Like a lot of them are like just legit football players. Those don't happen till later in the season. And a lot of the D1s, they're super early on kids because obviously they're super early on kids and they throw offers around like no other. These small schools, every offer really does matter. So it's a big deal. They take a little bit more time. They dive into kids a little bit more. And I think in late October, excuse me, in late October into November is where our kids will start to get recruited a little bit more, because that's when some of those schools really dive deep. Their seasons are pretty much all but over, right? They might have a bowl game or they might have a small playoff system or something like that. But a lot of these schools will start to kind of end towards the middle of November, and our kids will really pick up. I think there's Missouri S&T, which is a great school where there's a kid from Notre Dame that I coach. He's a quarterback there. They're starting to pick up on Sean. They're a D2 school. So I think, and they said they don't recruit until November. So I don't even know if that's a long answer, but I feel like
that gives a perspective of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you always hear, there's kids, at Brasher that, since they were sophomores, they've known where they're going to go, or at least been recruited. It doesn't happen at this level too often, And this is Sean's third year, right, as quarterback, or at least second year of quarterback, right?
Only second. Remember, like he moved from tight end.
That's right.
He was pretty much. I don't think he had a varsity snap as a sophomore, and he was mixed into that role. He wasn't necessarily a quarterback, but he can be. He sure can be.
I was watching the game film from Chino Valley last weekend, earlier this week, and watching him throw the football, and it just a memory came back to me, because I remember talking to. So I apologize, Sean, that you're going to hear this now. Don't let it affect you. But last year, I remember I looked at Dale and I went, "What are you doing? What are you doing with this kid as a quarterback? He threw wobblers out there, and stuff to that effect in his first start. And the way he's grown to what he is now, I mean, he's a solid quarterback out there, throws perfect spirals, reads the defenses. Like, it's amazing to watch his growth, that he did. And then coming from a tight end, obviously I wasn't blaming him or anything to that effect last year. But, I mean, it is amazing. That goes to your coaching, obviously the work he put in the offseason. I mean, he has 1,200 yards, 17 touchdowns this year, playing basically like getting pulled in the third quarter every day. Or at least a lot of times just handing the ball off as well,
Exactly. And one interception only, right? So it's like he's done such a good job. And it's like and I don't know if it's accredited to our coaching staff, right? Like, if you can see talent, it takes a little bit to develop, right? A lot of these kids are playing from when they're younger, and they're specifying in junior high what positions they're going to be, and they feel like they're going to do that through high school and all that stuff. And I feel like if you give kids a chance and you kind of like have an old school type feeling, maybe, I don't know what that is, like give somebody a chance, move people around, do some different stuff. I think Sean has really embraced it. And we saw talent in him early, but it was like the rawest of raw, right? Like
that's a better way of putting it than I put it. Yeah. Or just raw as can be.
No, it's fine. Yeah. It's just super raw. Like, you saw that first game against Santan last year. Like, he probably deer in the headlights, but you see that he was athletic and could make some throws, not necessarily the reads, but it was a little overwhelming to him, and he grew throughout the season. And this season he's really grown. He's like, and it takes a while, right? It's such a cerebral game. Everybody thinks it's like line up and knock each other. Like it is. Yeah. But at the same time, as a quarterback, it's a pretty cerebral game, and it takes a while to develop. And if you're not doing that from a young age, you got a little bit of catch-up time, and he's done a really good job at it.
Yeah, well, I always say, even at the high school level, like, the other guys get paid too, right? So, their job is to confuse you and do it to that perspective. I mean, we're going from Sean there, who's just had a great season with what he's doing. Obviously, Stefan, Isaiah Stefan, and the running backs are just phenomenal. They hit those holes hard and knock some guys back. One of the compliments I've been seeing about you guys, and I haven't made it to any of your road games this year, and a couple of one of your home games there, but one of the things I'm seeing about you guys, and I take it as a compliment. Some people are complaining about it, but you guys hit hard. Your physicality is good out there. It pops on film. When I watch the film, it pops when you're there. You can hear it, and at a two-way level, you don't hear that and don't see that all the time. And I'm seeing people just, a couple people, were chiming up saying they go above them beyond to hit it. You guys don't get dirty, but you will hit somebody on the other side and set that physicality level. That's obviously a tribute to the coaching staff and the way you guys coach them and things. But you guys have always been physical. It just to me feels this year's another level. Is it another level with these kids and things?
I truly think it is, and you'll have to send me where they were talking about it. I take that as a compliment,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So it's like now we're not teaching our kids to be like we're by far from a dirty team.
Yes.
We're farthest thing from.
I want to
that
be clear on
possible.
that.
truly think that.
I don't see late hits.
Yeah, no. I don't think you said
I don't
that,
see
right?
any of that
I
stuff.
think,
I see they'll hit a kid
Yeah.
if he's not paying attention. Don't get me wrong,
Absolutely.
but it's clean. Yeah.
Hey, at the end of the day, it's football, right? And if we get hit because we're standing around, we deserve it, right? We talk about that, right? So it's one of, you'll have to send that to me because I really want to
I'll have to
that,
find
so.
it. It popped up on Sunday where a couple people were like, yeah, they really hit a couple of those kids, probably unnecessary, and those types of words, But then when I watched the film, I was like, there's nothing unnecessary there.
Our job is to play football and play through the whistle, right? And it's also like I think Chino Valley was like I really liked their coach. Talked to him after the game for a long time. Like he understood with it. I think some other teams like they're not necessarily prepared or ready or at the level to play us, but we're never going to come down, right? So we have to be preparing at all times. I don't think our kids do anything that's dirty. I think we might have one of the nicest, most physical teams you'll ever see, which I'll take that all day, every day.
Well, it's funny because like literally they'll take somebody's head off and then, I'll be standing on the sideline and they'll come over and they'll be like, how you doing, sir? And I'm just like, you just ripped that kid's head off and made a huge block. And you're over here like being polite to me. Like, what?
And I think coaches preach that, right? It's like between the whistle and do all this stuff. And like, my biggest thing is that like we coach physicality. Like we came on Monday and usually Mondays are walkthrough day.
Mm-hmm.
And to whatever that happened, whatever was said on Sunday, I felt like we weren't physical enough, so we hit on Monday.
Okay.
Right? So we lined up and we're doing hitting drills because it's playoff time to us now. And it's like, if you are standing around and the play is still going and we have a chance to maybe break another run or do something like that, we are not going to stand around. That's not going to be who we are, right? We're not going to do anything after the whistle, but we are not stopping at any time. And I feel like that's a tribute to the boys, but at the same time, they'll knock you down and pick you back up. Right?
Well, that's the other side. Yeah, they don't stand over them. They don't taunt anything to that effect.
It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
We're we want to be nice physical people.
Yeah.
How's that? Nice physical people.
Let me ask you this, and it's not your responsibility for other teams, so maybe this is a loaded question, and I apologize that. But, I mean, my experience, in 2A level is you guys, Pima, Santan, last couple years with those, D1 recruits that they had on there, and they were physical teams. I noticed with a lot of other teams, they're not as physical, out there. Could be the amount of kids on their team, could be a lot of that stuff. But you being more physical, Pima being a physical team, even this year with Pima's struggles, was a very physical team to start the year, right? Santan's going to be physical still. I haven't seen them play yet. But do you think this level of physicality and this mindset on the 2A level, like you talked to the Chino Valley coach, is it kind of like an eye-opener to them? Like, we need to start being more physical here. I don't want to say 2A is a level where – people go out there and just kind of mull around, anything like that, but that's kind of the perception of it. It's kind of what I've seen out there for some of these teams. So do you think this will kind of change that physicality level for every team as they realize this is how we got to play if we're going to compete?
I do. You know what? That's a great question. So I do.
Answer for everybody, by the way.
Yeah, and I do because I feel like Cartwright does an awesome job. Wilkins does an awesome job. Lots down and Wilcox does. Like, there's so many physical teams. I do believe it's the buy-in and the effort of the coaches and the coaching sometimes that will be able to you're going to amplify things by how you coach. You're going to amplify how good you are, and you're going to amplify what you're good at and what you're bad at and what you get your kids to do. Like I love like coaching young men. I love coaching football. I like in my twilight days, I hope I'm at Chino Valley with the Chino Valley head coach job and I can kind of do something like that. Like I told my wife, I'm like, man, there's some cool areas over there. Like, let's retire up there and I'll go up there and coach someday or something. But
now you're starting the SCA. I just felt a quiver around Scottsdale Christian. Other schools are getting excited. They're getting that coach fired now to get you out of here.
No.
Good job, man. Good job.
Saying, like my twilight. I think
It's a beautiful
I think
area up
it's
there,
just like,
right? Yeah.
what's that?
It's a beautiful
What'd
area
you
up
say?
there. It's
Oh,
growing like
that's what I was
crazy.
saying. I was driving up there. It was awesome. I
Yeah.
just think, that's a good question. I think there's so many good coaches, and there's so many coaches that just coach,
Yeah.
right? And I think I talked to the coach up
That's a
there
good way of
from
putting it.
Chino Valley, and he's doing a great job. Like, they had won games last year, now they won 4 this year.
Yeah.
Like, they hadn't won any games like the last couple years, and they won 4 this year. And he told me, we had a good long talk, and he's like, hey, like, you are the benchmark. And I don't think we're necessarily the benchmark, right? There's a lot of teams in 2A that are really good. But he said, you guys are the benchmark, and that's what teams are trying to get to. But sometimes, as a program, as a school like Chino Valley, which hadn't had the wins, but they're getting better, like, playing a team like this will make them better. Now, it doesn't necessarily feel like it in the moment,
Yeah.
but they're going to have to up their speed, their physicality, the things like that. And I think the more physical teams we have, like Santan Pima, St. John's, Wilcox, like ALA, like all these teams, right? Like, I think there's a lot of physical fast teams, and I think it's going to up 2A at the end of the day. And I think probably, and everybody kind of talks about it, there should probably be some separation between like maybe like a 11-man 1A. Everybody talks about that stuff like that. So there is a separation. So there's not 50 teams in 2A, right? So I think the top is top heavy and the bottom's bottom heavy, right? Like, I don't even know. There's the middle is kind of tough.
Well,
But
we
I
talk
think
about
every
that
team
on
has
the.
the
Me and Dale talk about that on like the 6A and 5A level. When
it's
when
so
Abasha plays Hamilton, that's a beat down dog out fight, and then
Yes.
Basha plays a team that's really good, but they're not Basha level. They blow them out by 40 points. So
I
that's
think
a
I
struggle in
think
high
that's
school everywhere though, Mike.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. And everybody here's the thing. Everybody wants to rip the AIA, and everybody wants to have an opinion. At the end of the day, it's just high school football for these dudes, and they're
Yeah.
trying to do the best. They're trying to have the right rules. They're trying to do the right things. But I would never, ever want to be put in front of like 300 teams and divvy out and see who plays each other, because
Yeah.
a school down the street might not be as good as the other school. That's your rival. They're going to go kill those guys, and those guys are going to end up moving and coming to this school. And it's like, there's so much movement. There's so much everything. I think we get used to it in college because college has so many good athletes now. There's college football is better across the board, right? So you got even some of these lower end teams can compete with some of these top end teams, and there can sometimes be an upset. High school, it doesn't happen as often because it's much different. There's not as good athletes, not as good at coaching, all that stuff. So I just feel like after my tangent right here, I just feel like it's hard, right? It's hard to be able to separate all this stuff. And
well, like you said, I mean, you set up your schedule and you expected to have some competition here to start the season with some of these teams, and it just hasn't worked out. That's no fault of anybody's fault at all from that side of things, and it just worked out that way.
But we got PC, and next Saturday, man, they're the number one team in the state, and we got to play them. So I'm excited about that. And then we got Camp Verde, and then probably someone between Parker, ALA, and maybe Scottsdale Prep Reeks in there. Our last 3 are gonna be really, really, really good teams.
Yeah, I'm clearing the schedule for the last 3 out there, so I'm looking forward to it as well. But
Awesome.
before we get to serious stuff here and everything, I didn't even notice. But Robert was on vacation last week. He was out in paradise celebrating. And I was like, stop watching the show, Robert. Go enjoy your vacation. Yeah. So he missed the show last week. I didn't even catch on to it. Where's the mustache at, dude?
Well, it's here. I just trimmed it. Look.
Oh, you just trimmed it. Okay, there you go. Yeah, it looked like it was gone. All right.
I'm trying to, it's a little thin. It's a little thin like my hair. So,
I got my victory beard going right now. The winter beard going.
It's not as dark, and maybe it's more gray and yellow than anything else. It's not as bad.
It's not supposed to be skin tone, Mike.
Yeah, I know. It really is too. Like, I thinned it up, and I'm like, oh, I can't even see that right now.
Yeah,
I almost got rid of it. Got rid of it.
That's where you accidentally cut it wrong, and then you're like, "Well, I gotta get rid of it now."
Know,
so while you were giving that long explanation, if you saw me like do weird things like with my screen, I was all trying to see if you had it or not after Robert texted in. So.
It's still here. It's not pretty, but it's still here.
So I mean, the trip up to Chino Valley, it was a long trip for you. Like you said, you might have to play a Parker coming up here, for the last game of the season. Long trip there as well. Guys handled the trip well, went the way you thought it would be up there to Chino Valley?
Oh yeah, they actually did really. Hold on one second. My wife's texting me. Give me.
Uh-oh. She's going, you better not take that
She's
mustache off.
no. She's subbing today, so I don't know what she's actually subbing at SCA today. I'm here,
Oh,
so like it's her first time ever subbing. So I don't know if like she needs something, forgot her lunch or something. But anyways, okay. So yeah, long trip up here, and honestly, crazy enough, like that was a day that we had the most amount of water
yeah.
in the
That's what I
last
was going to
7
ask.
years.
Yeah.
So man, all of a sudden we get torrential down floor. Like my pool filled up like
Yeah.
easily a foot and a half,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, and I'm getting texts and emails. Are we playing? Are we playing? Are we playing? And we reached out to Chino. Chino was as clear as day, and it was gorgeous. We got
What,
up there, it was like 65 degrees.
they have a natural
It was
field
awesome.
or do they have artificial turf?
Yeah, they do. They got a natural
Oh,
field.
natural.
Yep, they got a
Okay.
natural field.
Yeah, because a
So
lot of
it's
games down here, the
and it
natural
was
field games were canceled and moved to Saturday and Sunday.
oh yeah, because it
Yeah.
pulls up, right? But no,
Yeah.
Chino had a good little dump out. So there was a good hill in the middle to make sure it
Yeah.
drained.
Drain it.
They
Yeah.
do. They got a good little hill, but it's an old school Chino. I felt like I was talking to their coach and I was like, man, it felt like I was playing at Kingman High School again. It felt like the grass and the stadium set up the same and the grass was really well taken care of, green. It just had that good little hump in the middle that you had to run downhill on a couple plays. But
Yeah, and I mean, I was down here for the ASU TCU game like an hour before kickoff. Man, torrential downpour. The stairs are flooding. You know, looks like a natural waterfall.
crazy.
Man, kickoff came though. It was perfect night, like 60 degrees, and I wore a long sleeve
Like
sweater. I was kind of chilly. It was like I'm such a wuss in my old age, man.
yeah,
So I was wondering about
like
you
that's
guys up there.
awesome.
You know, so
Oh, it was cold. It ended up like I had like shorts and a short sleeve off, and my fingers were cold, like wet and cold. Like it was just damp the whole time. My dad was doing stats in his paper, like he's old school, right? So he
yeah,
writes it
yeah,
on
he does the
paper, and it was like
clipboard.
not
Yeah,
raining, but it was damp,
oh,
right?
yeah.
So it's just like that's how humid it was and cold up there. It was awesome though.
Poncho or no poncho? Don't lie to us. Did you put the poncho on?
No, I'm never wearing a poncho. I wore shorts and I wore a short sleeve shirt, dude. You gotta every once in a while you gotta be tough, right? You gotta be tough every once in a while. Now, Dad had the long sleeve on, sipping the coffee
Well,
before the
your
game.
dad weighs like 70 pounds, so
Yeah, he doesn't.
it's
He's a brittle
cold.
old boy. He's
Hey, I have a side question here because obviously I was at the ASU game.
what's that?
Last couple of games, the score hasn't been being updated at all. Is that a you guys thing or is that because you're on the road kind of a thing? Just out of
No,
curiosity.
I for some reason, yeah. If our like, what was it? Were they away? The home
No,
game
it
should
was
be
your
a little bit more
homecoming game, and then this game was away, so it was even at home. You guys, yeah, it wasn't being updated.
You know what?
So
That's yeah. I'll talk to the athletic department because
yeah.
I feel like that should be done a little bit quicker. The Chino one's tough because nobody from the athletic department goes up there.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
just a little bit further away. But
No,
we're at
that's
home,
I
we'll
was
make sure
curious if it was a
fixed.
away game, but it was your
No,
homecoming
it's not
as well.
us.
But,
Yeah, it is us, but it's just I
yeah.
guess we weren't updating it.
I mean, the other side of it is you can just go. I don't know. Maybe you should come to games more often, Steve. Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's like no, because we actually there was a bunch of people like I saw after our game had been done for an hour, and it's like,
Yeah.
hey, like no,
Yeah, what?
SCA score, and I'm like, we can do a better
I do
job.
updates, So yeah, I'll be like, like at ASU game, I was like, ASU's up, whatever, and I go. Meanwhile, across town, and I do Desert Ridge because I have ties to that school,
Yeah,
Queen
yeah.
Creek and all that, and I was like, no, Desert Ridge didn't do it either, but they got blown out by whatever 40 points, so they probably weren't doing it on purpose. But for you guys, I was like, I don't know what's happening up there.
I know we'll do better. Listen, that's actually
Yeah.
a good. That's good feedback. We do need to be better at that.
Well, especially because we were expecting it to be a good game. Actually, when I woke up Saturday morning and saw it, I was like, oh, well, it didn't matter if they posted it or not, right? So
I know. I thought
But-
I thought it was gonna be. They had some kids out and stuff like that, and our kids were excited. Man, Sean had 303 yards in
Yeah.
the first half, dude. It
And he
was
threw the
impressive.
ball more than you guys are ramping up his throwing a little bit more. We talked about that last week. He got a whole 10, 11 throws last week. Little more this week. I asked you last week, is it a lot of, yards after catch type of situation? What's going on with that? But you guys are ramping it up a little bit more for him, on the throwing side. Excuse me, I have the hiccups.
Yeah. I think we need to. We're gonna have to. I mean, to do what we need to do, we're gonna have to be able to run the ball, throw the ball, and play good defense, right? So you got to work on all of it.
Your defense, some turnovers are starting. Your defense is starting to get more turnovers, I've noticed, last couple of weeks as well. Kind of leads to that physicality side of it, or are they, stripping the ball out, doing, things to get those? Are they reading the offenses properly? What's going on with the defense?
I think it's Coach Clark's doing an amazing job with them. I think he prides himself on keeping their points low, right? But I think our boys are just playing faster and more physical, and that's what happens, right? So it's like Abe Ortega, one of our defensive tackles. I think he had 3.5 sacks or something
Yeah,
last game, and
I think it's
a fumble
3.5 is what
recovery.
it says. Yeah.
Yeah, he just plays in the backfield. The kid's so quick. He's defensive tackle, gets off the ball quicker than anybody I've ever seen. He's in their backfield. So half the time, their quarterback running back exchange is starting to happen. And Abe's there sometimes that they got to pull in guard and he can get in the backfield.
Yeah.
I think the physicality is like the biggest, like, that's our biggest attribute on our team. I think we're a physical football team. And I think that shows. And I feel like, and I guess I don't want to say this in a negative way. I feel like the kids on the other side of the ball are thinking about that. And when you're thinking about
Mm-hmm.
that and you're worried about the wrong things, you're going to make mistakes, right? So mistakes happen when you are not necessarily playing fearless and when you're playing with a little bit of fear. And I'm not saying anybody fears this, so I guess I'm not saying it right. But
I know what
I
you're
think our
saying, but you're
kids just
setting up your haters to come at you here. But no,
I know. So I'm
Dale
trying not
talks
to
about
get
it.
oh yeah.
I'll put it this way: Dale
Yeah.
talks about it all the time. A quarterback that constantly gets hit, and his throws are off. That one time he's got a clean pocket, he's still thinking he's going to get hit, and
That's kind
so
of what I'm
he's
saying,
still not
right? So
accurate.
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, if you're constantly thinking about it and not just executing,
yeah.
your chances are you're gonna be mistakes. And we do it all the time. If Sean's not, if he's thinking about something or thinking about where the blitz is coming from like that, and he's not executing properly, like there's gonna be mistakes. There's gonna be errant throws. There's gonna be stuff like that. So it's like we do it all the time. So I just know as high school kids, like if that's in the back of your mind, you're not executing and doing exactly what you should be doing. So there are errors that happen. So I think it's attributed to our physicality, but it's also attributed to like our kids just constantly going and like execution on the other side of the ball. There are a couple of them were like quarterback center exchanges. So it's
Oh.
kind of like
Oh,
that's
okay, yeah.
tough.
That was an early one. I
Yeah.
did see that. Yeah. So I was wondering if the
Yeah.
wetness, but you said it wasn't wet up there, so it's
It was
a little bit different. Yeah.
damp, moist,
Well,
moist.
they should be used to that up there, right? But
Yeah.
interesting enough, I looked at the ratings this week, right? Camp Verde, like you said, you got them coming up, ranked number 1 now, off of their strength of schedule for them. And then you guys are, of course, number 2 there at 6-0 to start this season. Camp Verde has 1 loss on the year early on. Chino Valley's
Did Camp
third.
Verde hop PC, huh?
What do you say?
Did Camp Verde hop PC? I thought
Yeah,
PC
according to
was
what I
one.
got right here, Camp Verde's number 1. Yeah.
And you know what? I think a lot of that is attributed to not having played us yet, too. I think a couple strength of
Well, that's what I was
schedules
saying.
are
Chino made a
yeah.
jump, and that's what I was going to ask you. Chino playing you jumped them up this week, I'm assuming, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So I think that's the teams that we haven't played yet, and we're getting excited to play. I think their strength of schedule is better, probably because of us, and then ours is too because of them. But
Well,
they're ahead of us right now. So we'll see what
Cortez, you
happens.
got them this week, right? They're 1-5 on the season,
Yes.
0-2 in their region, and they're ranked 5th.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they've played
Yeah,
some
that's what
tough
I'm saying,
teams,
yeah.
and Chino Valley.
Yes.
They lost to Chino Valley by 1 over there at 31st Avenue and something over there. So they've played hard. They've played some of these teams good. And they played hard against these teams, not necessarily getting the victories out of it here for Cortez. So tell us about that matchup coming up this week. Is it Friday night this week?
Yeah, it's Friday night this week. I think Cortez, like, extremely coached team, a well-coached team. Their coaches do a good job over there. It's just they're kind of a little bit of a down year. It's hard to get kids out and playing and all that stuff and bought in some of these areas. But I think they do well with what they have, right? They do well with what they have. They put out a team that's gonna fight you tooth and nail no matter the score. So I'm excited to go play at Cortez, and they run a similar offense to what Phoenix Christian does. So it'd be nice to be able to play that team and then go into Phoenix Christian and have that same kind of offense. So it's a good game for us this week. It's a good group to go play because they're good kids too, right? I've seen them play. I haven't seen any dirtiness or anything crazy, and I kind of like the way they play. It looks like they're just having fun when they're out there, and I think playing an offense like we're going to be playing against PC will be a good week prior to PC too, and not to look past as a trap game, but you kind of just
right,
look at
right.
these things. Yeah.
So you're going to the Avenues this week. It's a different mindset going on. I'm just kidding, Cortez. Relax.
No. I love the Avenues, dude. The Avenues got some tough. Hey, Avenues got Liberty, Cactus,
That
Peoria.
is
There's
true.
some nasty teams in the Avs.
Yeah,
Dude. There's
yeah, but
some
we
nasty
got Basha,
Desert
18th ranked in the
Desert
nation.
Edge.
So.
I know. I'm just saying. Listen, I know it's always an East versus West thing. We're always like right in the middle. I feel like we get put in the East. I don't know why. There's not much of a North. We're like the North. Pinnacle.
Yeah, that's your problem. But Pinnacle's even
Shadows.
like more north. I consider Pinnacle. I consider you guys east, to be honest with you,
I know,
because
isn't that
you're
weird? Like,
south. You're
everybody
far enough
does it.
down. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, it keeps going more west, right? So
Yeah.
it's just weird to where we're at. I don't even know what we are. Yeah, I guess 51 and over, right? Is it the 51 and
That's
over?
what I would consider it to be. Yeah.
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 I would say
Especially that north area. Then you get up, like you said, up into that big Pinnacle and in that north area up there. So I mean, like, look, you guys, after that game, obviously a long drive back down on the bus and everything, and got back late, get going this week. Big games coming up. I know we said it last week. It didn't turn out to be that way. But you do have Cortez. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I watched some of that preview stuff, and they do hit. They do hit, and they're a little bit more physical. So it'll be interesting to see.
I like it.
They're a
great team to play.
And you got some tough games coming up. Like, we're not lying about that. You do coming up before the playoffs coming on that stuff. So just keeping these guys grounded, ready to go. Homecoming's behind you as the season goes on. And, how are you prepping? Like, Sean's not getting hit that much right now unless he's running the football, not playing the whole games. I'm going to put money down that at least next week your guys are going to be playing the whole game. Are you worried about that going into it?
Without a doubt. Listen, PC's a good football team. How are we prepping? We're scrimmaging all day. Today we've got 5 series, actually 7 series, offense versus defense today, and we will be going at it today. So that's how we're prepping. We're playing football week in, week out. We have our own inter squad scrimmages, which is a lot of people don't necessarily like to do throughout the year, but I like it because we got to stay prepared.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, so do you, depending on the game flow and stuff, but do you keep the guys in a little bit longer? Like Sean in a little bit longer this week, some of those starters in a little bit longer, so they get a little bit more prep going into the next week. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. I'm just saying, is that a consideration going into this week that maybe push them a little bit more on the field?
Yeah, I think it's time to unleash, right? It's time to kind of just be like, hey, let's go. Yeah. It's time for us to just kind of just keep playing football and play through, and whoever's on our schedule is on our schedule, but we got to do our thing from here on out. So we'll always kind of play it by the flow of the game, but I think it's time to go. And it's like, I think we're in a playoff mentality right now. We're coaching hard last night. We're going to coach hard tonight. So I think we're playoff mentality now. You know what I mean? Our conditioning's up. Our weight room's up right now. Our scrimmage and hitting in practice is a little bit up right now. So it's like we're getting ready for the playoffs, and I feel like we are in playoff mode right now. So yes.
Robert says should grow in real good when you hit puberty, by the way, on that mustache. So, there's Robert.
Tell Robert thanks.
Yeah, and he also said, well, you can tell.
Ask Robert if I looked up the guy I got my tattoo from back in like 2020.
In Cholo.
The guy's no longer there. But
he's probably dead. He's probably dead.
Yeah.
He was probably 70 years old and was like, I used to give tattoos in the Navy on the ship back in the day. I guess I can break it out again.
You know, it's weird. He did it with like a pen like this. So I don't, why is that?
Get up blurry. Yeah. It's a bit.
He did it with a pen like this, and like, he was like licking it. So I don't know if that was proper or not, but we'll see. I didn't get anything, I don't think.
He also says, I don't get disparaging the West Side. I just give the West Side a hard time. I don't hate it. But there are some areas you generally want to avoid, is all I'm saying on that way. There's some of that on the East Side too. I get it. From there, last thing for you, we always end there with your Bears.
Oh, I love it. Caleb Williams is literally probably one of the top quarterbacks in the league right now, and nobody can deny that. They cannot like him, but they cannot deny it. Rome Odunze has more touchdowns than any wide receiver right now. Their defense is playing a little bit better. Obviously, you got to do the things to win. And I love Ben Johnson. And yes, the halftime thing that he said, he's 100% correct. Hold on one second.
Yeah,
he's 100% correct.
He's got to shoo somebody off there.
Correct. Sorry, no, my wife's here. Hey,
you get her on. Introduce the masses to your wife.
Back to the screen. Come here. No, come here. Here, hold on.
She's like, I don't want to go on camera.
There you go. See, look at that. Look at that.
Say hello to
Son.
everybody.
There's a song about that, isn't there? A song about that. Anyways, go ahead.
What?
No,
Your
no, go
wife
ahead.
is blurry?
No, she's a teacher. So,
Oh.
anyways, but
Yeah, you're
but
the one you're the one at a Christian school, man. I'm gonna leave that up to you.
I know. So, no, so as far as the Bears, probably the best team in the NFL now. They're 2-2 back. Them and the Chiefs are the only two teams that have started 0-2 back to 2-2. Caleb's playing phenomenal football. Defense is playing better. Run game's going good. Matt Crosby probably might be the best freaking defensive player in the NFL, and we saw that. But I think they're rip roaring ready to go. I'm excited to keep watching the Bears and the Eagles, my Eagles, the rest of the year. So
You guys win 2 games in a row and have a bye week this week, and look at the Bears fans. Best team in football is all I heard out of that.
Oh, look, hey, you can't deny it. You can't deny it. Let's go. Ben Johnson's going to be coach of the year. Caleb's going to be maybe up for NFL MVP at the end of the year. It's going to be awesome.
I will tell you this.
Comeback player of the year.
I'm sweating the under 8 that I have with you. I'm sweating it a little bit.
Oh, dude, that's demolished. That is and they should be 3-1. So we'll see when they play the Vikings again. They're going to beat the Packers twice. They're going to do all the things this year, Steve. I promise you.
I had you on the Vikings. On the Packers, I'm not too sure. Packers are struggling,
bring it.
though.
Jordan Love is the most overrated quarterback in the NFL.
Seriously, look at this. Like, I'm not kidding you here, man. Look at this. Commanders this week. Jaden Daniels out. Next week, excuse me, right? They have a bye week this week. Then you got the Commanders without Jaden Daniels in Washington. Saints, that's a win. Should be. Yep. Ravens, they're struggling galore. You don't even know if Lamar's going to be playing for that
5
one.
Weeks, yeah.
How long's he out?
I think 5 weeks. Am I wrong? I thought I saw.
I didn't see that.
Maybe I'm wrong.
You might be right.
Maybe
I didn't
he's not
see
even
that.
Out. Yeah. Maybe I just saw fake Twitter.
I was watching baseball so much yesterday that I did not keep up on football yesterday.
Oh, my Cubs! Hey, my Cubs!
Oh, that's right.
Freaking. Yep.
I thought San Diego, their pitching staff, and now I'm like, I woke up this morning and I went, oh, the Cubs are going to do it. You know.
Oh, it's over now, dude. Getting that first win, it's over. That's over. The Bears are in the playoffs, probably NFL, like NFC Championship.
Well, you're not kidding. I mean, because then they got the Bengals, then they got the Giants, then the Vikings, who they have a quarterback issue right now, right? Then it gets a little hard. You got Steelers, Eagles, and Packers in a row from that. But then you got the Browns. You know, before you got the Packers, Niners are injured galore before the Lions. Yeah, my 8 might be gone by beginning of November here, man. End of November.
Oh, it will be. Mark my words. That's why I made the bet. I'm not a bet man, but I only make bets that I'll win for sure.
All right, Taco. What was that place around the corner? Taco, whatever we're going to.
I don't know. What, Del Taco? No, not Del Taco.
No,
it'll end up being Del Taco.
The place where the ladies shun me for the like street taco.
Yes.
Street tacos are tiny, not for you.
They don't sponsor a show. I don't remember. I'll have to go get a sponsorship and then I'll throw.
Yeah, well, they haven't been there very long. They just opened. So yeah, hit them up. What the heck? Why are they not? Sure. Tell him I'll bring the big boy back in, and he'll eat here all the time.
Yeah, I'll bring the big boy. He'll get that order that you recommended.
I'll pay for the sponsorship myself in tacos. I'll promise you that. Mike, get out of here. Appreciate it. We'll see you next Wednesday again. When do your kids go on break?
Holly, when do our kids go on break? In a week.
So then you have then you have a home game that time too, then, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So
well, that's just what we're dealing with. You know, like my kids are on this is their first week. They have next week off too. You know. And then, like their teams are still playing. It's kind of a weird deal, you know. So
it is weird, but that's gotta be awesome. That's gotta be. I didn't get that when I was in high school. I think that'd be fun. Practice in the morning, be done. Have the rest of your day. It's like summer with games on a Friday.
That's good. Actually, that's a really good point. So, good luck on Friday night against Cortez. We'll see you next week, man. Go Bears!
Go Bears! I'll talk to you. Have a great day.
With that tattoo, see you, man. So Coach Sheahan joins us, of course, every Wednesday. We appreciate it very much.